ups and downs, hills and valleys. I never realized how much it would take. All the future we deliberate affects the course that keeps us all at bay. No matter how deep, I will dive in. If there's a mountain, I will climb it. Another number to be divided, here's my promise. Strength and courage to shape your world is all it takes to be victorious. Victorious. Fight the toughest in your name. Make the change to be victorious. 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 As the pressure keeps on pushing on, building up my heart and I feel reborn. No more cloudy days to lose my focus. There's no limits, I won't hesitate. There's a passion that I will proclaim, to fight the cause that keeps us all at bay. No matter how deep, I will dive in. If there's a mountain, I will climb it. Another number to be divided, here's my promise. Strength and courage to shape your world is all it takes to be victorious. Victorious. Fight the toughest in your name. Make the change to be victorious. 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 Courage to shape your world is all it takes to be victorious. Courage to shape world is all it takes to be victorious. Strength and courage makes me be victorious. No matter how deep, I will dive in. If there's a mountain, I will climb it. Another number to be divided, here's my promise. Strength and courage to shape your world is all it takes to be victorious. Victorious. Fight the toughest in your name. Make the change to be victorious. Victorious.
Give what you want and take what you need. Cry in the sun or leave them to bleed. You're fighting your fear, hiding at dark. Feigning it ghosts to cover the mark. You know your life is bleeding away. You know that life is bleeding away. stone to get your release. In the habit to kill and leaving a scar. Light up the town to bring down the stars. You know your life is bleeding away. You know that life is bleeding away. You know your life is bleeding away. You know your
And I've been hearing all the lies, living in the city. In your braces, how it's meant to be. All the diamonds wanna please ya, I want you here with me. I'll be down with the dogs. I've been watching over time. I've been hearing all the lies. If you listen real close,
when I was at primary school, the headmaster abused myself and many others, and we were interviewed by the police as children. The headmaster left, never heard anything else. Then out of the blue in February 2015, got a Facebook message from an old primary school friend. It was a bit of a sledgehammer, shall we say.
Approximately 85,000 women across England and Wales have been raped each year, and 12,000 men. RSVP is a rape crisis charity. We support people across the whole of Birmingham and Solihull. Some of the communities that we serve are the LGBT community, disabled survivors, refugees and asylum seekers, children, adults who've been affected by any form of sexual trauma.
I had an arranged marriage. A few months into the relationship, he was very abusive, very controlling. I had to escape.
Survivors can receive up to 24 weeks of counselling. We also offer 10 weeks of counselling to the supporters of survivors, partners, their parents, their family and friends. And we do that because we recognise the global impact that sexual trauma can have on an individual. Some of our services are available 7 days a week. It's estimated that 15% of people report to the police after sexual offences. That means it's the vast majority of people who don't feel able to.
I was extremely afraid of who to reach out to. If I wanted this to be looked at, I would have to report it to the police, and that was the thing that I was most afraid of.
The ISVA service, that stands for the Independent Sexual Violence Advocacy. For some people, they're very sure that they want to report to the police, so we would assist them in doing that.
At RSVP, we're experiencing 40% increase. From April 2016 to March 2017, we supported 820 adults and 220 children through the ISVA service.
I've never been to court before. My ISVA was literally sat right, you could sort of touch them, so it was sort of felt safe. Without their support, I would not have been able to be on the witness stand and to feel empowered.
Anybody that is either currently a client of RSVP or has been in the past can attend the free legal clinic.
Last year we trained over 900 professionals on all sorts of aspects of sexual violence and abuse. We work closely with the university.
The Tilton will support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham City, down at St Andrews, we are all supporters of our team. We chant a super blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads.
Welcome to Monday night's Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Image Cleaning and in conjunction with RSVP, live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube for the first time ever tonight, and then of course on Switch FM 107.5 and DAB every Tuesday at 8 PM across the wider Birmingham area. Despite taking the lead twice on Friday night's derby at the Hawthorns under the lights, we came away with nothing. Yet more controversial refereeing with a penalty that for me Mahoney got the ball and was clearly outside the box. When are we going to get the rub of the green? We never thought we'd be saying this, but we're 5 points off relegation after such an amazing season. We've got a fight in our hands once again, but it's in our hands at least. It's Leeds next at St Andrews, and that's going to be a tough one. But you know, all we ask is the players and the fans all put a shift in. We need them to rise up, and they need us to rise up. So rise up we shall, in true Birmingham City fashion. Great to have Tom Ross with us tonight, the voice of Midlands football, so I'm sure we're going to have a busy one. So as always, strap yourselves in and get ready for the ride on the world's only Tilton Talk Show.
What we're longing for. war. It's Birmingham forever, let's hear it from the stand. So come on city, sing this song once more. We are the lads from Tilton, we'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy, following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We are the lads from Tilton.
As we said earlier, welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. Of course, it is Monday, 7:30 through till 9. This is what we do on a Monday. It's what Monday nights are made for. Glad to see so many of you tuning in already. And a big welcome to our special guest tonight and friend of the show, Tom Ross.
Good to be here, boys.
Thank you very much.
Always good to be here. This is what I miss.
James Beattie had biscuits last week.
I know.
Nothing for me, by the way.
James
Nothing
Beattie
for
had
me.
biscuits last week.
Hey, that won't get back.
That's a lack of respect.
You watch Twitter later.
You won't be coming again, will you?
You watch Twitter and Facebook, you're going to get hammered. To be fair, though, I'm really pleased. Thank you so much, because it's Lent, and I'm off sweet things for Lent. I'm totally off sweet things, no biscuits, cakes, chocolates, or anything sweet. And Lent started Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm giving up things for
And
Lent for
now-
Lent.
But now, I went to the doctor's Friday, and I've not had any of these sweet things. Got on the scale and lost an ounce. I was absolutely gutted.
Oh, you done that haircut?
I might as well have them, yeah. But no, I've given them up for Lent, so I'm glad there's no biscuits.
Ray says, evening all from Costa del Daventry. We'll leave it to Ray as well.
Costa del
No, it's great to have you back, Tom.
Been a lot happening since I was last here, that's for sure.
Just.
You know, but you mentioned Friday, I've got to say, you know, that was, forget what the tackle was. It's never, see, tackles are subjective, because the referee, even if you win the ball, if in the referee's opinion it was aggressive, overly aggressive, he'll say no. So, you know what I'm saying, even if you win the ball. So you can argue that bit. What you can't argue was outside the box. It was outside the box, end of story. And that is absolutely galling for somebody like Gary Monk, who needs points. We've still got work to do.
Yeah, lots of it.
You know, so I thought it was a decent performance. You know, it could have been ahead as well.
I think we should have made more of the first half, to be honest with you.
That's what I mean. That was when they were the best.
Yeah, because they changed it. They went, was it 4-3-3 second half, was it?
Yeah, but Robson Carnu on, didn't they?
Yeah,
and just went a little bit more physical up top. Pushed Gale into a striker's role, which, you know,
he's not been doing that. He's been wide.
Honestly, considering West Brom are fourth and Dwight Gale hasn't played as a striker all season, it's remarkable.
I think in the modern game, though, you do find that they'll have three strikers, won't they?
Yeah,
it's effectively three.
Yeah,
that's the way they play. So, but they've got goals in them. They score goals for fun, and they've kept Premier League players.
They have all season,
and twice, because we should have beaten St Andrews with a better team by a country mile.
Yeah.
And I think Friday night as well should have got something out of the game. But you know, wouldas, shouldas, couldas.
Yeah.
Yep, that's on to the next one, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
And Jerry Gill says, evening lads from the sunny West Country.
Jerry, what a manager he's turning out to be.
Yeah,
doing a good job at Bath.
Doing well at Bath, isn't he?
Absolutely, well, brilliant stuff. Yeah, well done, Jerry.
I taught him everything about management, by the way. Playing for the ex-Blues team.
Was that because of your first introduction to management on the...
No, when he came to Blues, and he played for the Blues All-Stars, which I managed with Kevin Broadhurst. So I think he picked up a lot from me.
There you are.
Well, I'm telling him he has.
It's an inspirational figure.
What a good lad he is as well, Jerry.
Jerry, you've got to be grateful. You've really got to be grateful.
Great lad, Jerry Gill. Top lad.
Okay, so as we said at the top of the show, now we are on live tonight, Facebook Live, we're on Twitter, we're on Skype, and we're on YouTube Live. Skype, we can use Skype now for phone-ins.
Wonderful.
So we're going to do some more testing on the Skype midweek, and then we should have that up and running.
Since I finished at Free Radio, which is 2016, I had the TV thing for a while, but then money took over that problem. I miss this bit. Engaging and interacting.
Yeah.
I miss this desperately.
Yeah.
You know, I've got so busy doing boxing, doing talk sport, but the actual interacting with Blues and local, I was going to say the V word, but the local football fans.
E6.
I was going to do, you know, I miss
Red
that
card.
interaction.
Yeah.
Red card.
I did it for 40 years, so I miss it. I miss the interaction, you know, and arguing the toss with people. It's wonderful.
Well, I was going to do exactly that, actually. If we were going to talk about the Albion game.
Go on then.
Because I think what has surprised me a lot is the uproar about the penalty. Because I think it's a stonewaller.
What penalty?
Yeah. It's Albion.
Oh, you're not driving with eyes like that.
Mahoney. Cullen gets done.
No. You take them.
I don't need them.
It's outside the box.
I've seen it over and over again.
Forget the tackle. It's outside the box.
So Mahoney wins the ball by diving in. No, honestly, it's fine. Mahoney dives in, wins the ball. Because he's dived in, he's given the opportunity, the left back, the opportunity to make the most of that. Now, as he wins the ball outside the box, now if you carry on that frame, the left back leaves his leg and goes over Mahoney,
but the leg's
inside the area.
Not having it. I watched it 50 times. I must have watched it 50 times. That challenge and the foul is outside. I accept what you say about the foul, maybe, but he was outside the box. Give a free kick, do what you want, but it in the box, and that is what drives people mad. Not like yourself. I've watched it loads of times. I'm not decrying your opinion because we all have different opinions. I didn't personally. I didn't even think the tackle was that bad. I didn't, honestly. I didn't think the tackle was that bad.
As soon as you go flying in, you are giving the opportunity.
Well,
you're giving the
referee. We might as well wear tutus and it's not been a game for men.
Yeah, but you give the opportunity. You give the referee and the fullback the opportunity to make the most of that situation.
No, hang on. That is not Birmingham City's fault. Or
of course not.
If a player, and all players do it though these days, they look for a reason to go down.
Yeah.
Is that what? Is that? I find this amazing that they accuse referees of doing this, they accuse the league of doing this, they accuse the EFL of doing that. But for 90 minutes, I'll cheat you, and that's fine.
Yeah,
nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
But you make a really good point that just makes the referee's life even more difficult, which is why the implementation of VAR is so crucial.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Absolutely crucial.
Right, a lot of comments coming in. Stonewall penalty, grow up, Andrew Cash. Outside the box, Jay Raisey. The contact carried into the box. That doesn't really matter. The initial tackle was
outside. No, it doesn't. Check the rules. Check the laws.
The fact that it can carry on into the box is an important factor.
It's where the tackle's made, and that was outside the box.
Alex Russell, I agree. As a Stonewaller, Mahoney shouldn't have been diving in there.
He thinks it's a penalty as well.
Is it time to sponsor Mr. Fun for something?
But look, here's an interesting analogy if I can give you.
Paul Lipkiss, if that's a penalty, I'm a male model.
For 89 minutes, right? Players, Birmingham players, every club, for 89 minutes, they try to persuade the referee to make a mistake.
Yeah.
They kick a ball out. They know it's not their throwing.
Everyone goes up, yeah.
They go corners, free kicks, diving in the box. For 89 minutes, they try to force the referee to make a mistake.
And this is the difference between rugby and football.
But when he makes a genuine...
Oh, come off it.
It is.
What an absolutely ridiculous cheap shot.
What is it?
Well, rugby, the arbitrators of good play and honest sportsmanship, where they... take blood capsules and tactical substitutions and biting each other in scrums and things
but
like
not
that.
all. But
not everybody dies.
Listen,
I'd
rather you.
I'm loving this time.
I'd rather you kick me than cheat me. I'd rather you kick me, and I spoke to a lot of players, past and present, and they all agree: kick me, but don't cheat me.
But I don't see I don't see much difference in it,
because there's an honesty about somebody giving you a dig, you give them one back, and all the rest of it. But to actually go down without being touched does my brains in. That really is the lowest. You can't sink any lower than that. And people have said to me, "Well, you wouldn't mind if it won Blues the cup?" Yes, I would. I wouldn't want to win the cup that way. No way. To just dive with nobody touching you makes me sick.
Yeah, that's fair. It makes it. I feel worse when somebody goes in for a really nasty challenge.
Oh no!
Personally,
no. Hang on. There's a difference here. Sorry to interrupt.
So like a Roy Keane on Haaland.
That has to be.
That's the lowest of the low.
That has to be outlawed. Any deliberate attempt to injure.
Yeah.
No place.
That's the lowest of the low.
Immediate red card gone.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But tackling, physicality.
Yeah.
And remember, we stop it. You said it yourself. Check the frame by frame. That gives you such a false impression.
Yeah, because that's not football.
It's an instant game.
I agree with that.
And if I come in to tackle you, and because you're quicker than me, you manage to get away, Why should I be sent off because you're quicker than me?
Yeah.
If in the referee's opinion it's not a deliberate attempt to injure, I've just been late. Give me a foul, get on with the game. But these days, managers are waving hands. They all want players sent off. It's a game for
anything to give their team half an inch, and people will go for it.
It's a game for snowflakes. That's what it is at the moment.
Pete Taylor saying that was a Stonewall penalty is like saying Ndoye is better than Patrick Vieira.
Close.
Outside the box and off. I don't know why you would put and off, but no.
So he thought it was outside the box, but he should have been sent off.
No, I don't think he should have been sent off.
Of course he should have
the
been
ball.
sent off.
For goodness sake.
100% no sending off. Because
You hear so much nonsense. For example, the one you hear all the time is studs up. You cannot tackle without your studs showing. It's impossible.
it is impossible.
It's impossible.
You
The
can't
difference
sidestep
is
to tackle,
the difference is if your foot's well off the ground.
Yeah, if you
that's the difference.
If it's dangerous play, dangerous.
So if you go over the top, then you deserve to be.
Yeah,
I'm with you 100%.
yeah.
No place for it in the game.
Yeah.
But there has to be physicality. It's a man's game. I hate all this nonsense that we hear these days. Alan Shearer's the worst, by the way. There was contact. Oh, I'll touch you. If I put my finger on your shoulder, there's contact. I mean, you've got to dive. Does it? Because if you check the laws...
And for him, he was the worst.
But the laws are quite clear. Any challenge has to have enough power to put you to the ground. You can't just have a finger on your shoulder and fall over, which is what they're doing. There has to be enough force to force you to the ground. And there isn't in most cases.
So Dennis will sponsor you to play rugby.
Why would I want to play such a dishonest, aggressive sport?
Oh my God.
Kev Kelly, if and when VAR is implemented, this type of decision will need to be taken away from the ref once he has referred it to the fourth officials team, saves the ref from abuse on the pitch.
I think that's a good point. Saves the ref from... Because if you've got that technology, we should be using it. Now, people say, and this is one about our media I hate. One mistake, and they pick on that. VAR's rubbish. If VAR analyses 100 things and gets 2 wrong, but 98 right, game-influencing decisions, I'll put up with that.
It's better than a standard referee.
It's better than having 98 wrong and 2 right.
Yeah.
So I'm with I'm with it.
But the important thing about as well about VAR is that one on Friday night. So the referee gives the penalty. Okay. Now, if the VAR panel suggests that the referee goes and has a look at that. So he goes to the touchline and he has a look at that. If he then decides that it's still a penalty, then that's up to him, and that we can't complain about that, because whether we believe it or not, whether Gary Monk believes it or not, professional referees know more about the rules of football than we do. Mm-hmm. That's their job to learn about that.
There's a question. It's a good point he makes. They do know because they know more about the laws than we do. But
do they know more about the game?
Do they understand the game?
Yeah.
What about tackling? Because I've had this at referees forums. I've been hammered by them all over the Midlands, and they go, well, what's law 52 part 2? I said,
does that really matter?
Because I know that I can tell you now. There's only one law in the game. What the referee says goes. That's the laws.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And we've got to stop this crowding of the referee as well.
Absolutely.
Players.
But
they have stopped it, but it's still
such an emotive sport. Such an emotive sport that
if you think
you've been done.
When I played chess with my son and he beat me the other
it
week,
is.
that was emotive, right?
I think though,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But to use rugby is an emotional sport. But they don't crowd the referee because they know the penalty.
But if they crowded the referee, they know that the referee has that technology available to them. So if VAR comes in, thankfully, when VAR comes in,
Premier League next year, isn't it?
Premier League next year, yeah. But you will see less crowding of the referee.
Here's a thing for you. If the player final, let's assume the player final was, say, Aston Villa against West Brom.
Yeah.
There's no VAR.
No.
It's there at Wembley.
Yeah.
But they're not going to use it.
It's farcical.
Used in the Championship.
We had one the other week in the FA Cup.
Yes.
Premier League grounds were allowed to use it. Championship grounds weren't allowed to use it in the same competition on the same weekend. Farcical. And you have to throw that. You can throw that at the FA.
The rules have to be the same for everybody.
Yeah, of course. If you're going to have it in a competition, you have it across the board in that competition from a certain point. Obviously, you're not going to have it in the qualifying rounds at Redditch United because they haven't got the facilities to be able to do that. But if you say 4th round onwards, VAR is installed in this competition, it's got to be everywhere. They've got to be able to have it everywhere.
But it's a difficult job, isn't it?
Very.
I mean, what's that? What was the game I saw the week? Was it
Cardiff one.
Celtic? Was it Celtic?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
offside. Was it Celtic or what
Chelsea.
game? Chelsea.
Yeah.
He must have been
Country mile offside. You
You
know,
know,
but and
really-
Warnock is raging. I'm not a massive fan of Warnock, but he's raging, and he's rightly so because
That's emotional.
Yeah,
His job at stake, his
and
salary.
it's their Premier League status at stake. It's £200 million at
But you
stake.
know the linesman or sorry, assistant referee.
Yeah.
One job really for me.
Yeah.
Because that's a game influencing decision.
Yeah.
Whether or not a player has walked 2 yards further up to take a throw in, or whether there's 4 people warming up, it matters.
Yeah.
Those are the important ones we want you to get right. Game influencing decisions.
Yeah.
Penalty shouts, offsides, they're important ones. If you miss I don't know, whatever is on the centre circle, nobody
Like you said, the one where
It doesn't, but then that
a double
centre
hit.
circle could lead up to a goal.
Yeah,
or
but
not.
generally, I'm
But you've
saying
got so long.
I know what you're saying.
it's
yeah.
got to be game
defend
influence.
it better.
If somebody punches somebody in the box and he's caught, there has to be
Yeah.
some way of dealing with game influencing decisions. And we've seen players in our past where players get sent off and they shouldn't have been,
Or even the wrong player.
or even the wrong player.
Yeah.
They're game influencing decisions. And Warnock, and I understand Warnock's frustration at this. He's been hammered today, but I understand it because it's not only him, all his players and their wages and their families and it affects so many people. Get it right, and if there's technology there, use the blessed thing.
Yeah, and the technology is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Technology is there, and it's
I've got to
and
say-
it's
But I
excellent.
do agree with you.
I've got to say though, the other day I went to see for TalkSport. I covered Milton Keynes against Yeovil, League Two.
Okay.
I loved every minute of
Yeah.
it. I loved. There was wingers going past, running fullbacks and crossing the ball. There was goalmouth action, defenders throwing their butt. Oh, that could all catch on, couldn't it? There wasn't a drag back or a step over in sight. It was brilliant.
Ray did make an excellent comment, which has gone off my screen now, and he said only spitting is worse than cheating.
Spot on. And that is
Absolutely spot on.
I've got to be honest. That is the worst of all for
The
me.
worst of the worst.
You spit at me, but you were surely you. Would you rather be spat at or kicked?
Spitting is disgusting, and it's the lack of respect that you've got for somebody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're basically, if I'm spat on the back, it's basically you've got no respect for me. But I'd also say if you came into me 2-footed going for me knee, I'd say you haven't got much
But
respect for me there either.
Hang on. Fairly typical, if you don't mind me saying, you're using the very extreme to prove a point.
Yeah, oh,
'Cause
yeah.
90% to tackles, 95% to tackles.
I'm not against
are
tackling,
good,
yeah.
honest, hard. There's nothing wrong with a really tough tackle, and you can get hurt in a fair
Yeah.
tackle.
Yeah.
Can't you? You can get hurt in a
Yeah,
fair
of course
tackle.
you can. Yeah.
I'll get hurt crossing the road going off the curb.
But you know, I love that. I think tackling is an art. It's a dying art, but it's an art in the game. People love to see a good. I remember once a game at Robbie Savage. It was an absolutely flat game, and Robbie Savage run towards the tunnel and smashed into a player. In fact, it might have been a free kick. I can't remember, but it wasn't over the top or anything. He smashed it. Who then hit the linesman? Who then went by the boards? The referee went mad. The crowd. It lifted the whole flipping game.
Yeah.
And it can do. I think tackling shouldn't be, because all the academy coaches, all the Barcelona-esque people, they just want players. Let the best players show their skills. That isn't what our game's about. Else we'll have Messi at left back.
Yeah.
It's about talented people trying to get the better of tough defenders as well.
Yeah.
That's an art.
Yeah, you got to have both sides of it. Yeah. Only if it's fair though.
Only if it's fair.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you 100% there.
Yeah.
If you're trying to hurt somebody,
Yeah.
it's got to be gone.
Yeah.
Sam Bailey has asked, does anybody know if the ref has come out and said he got it wrong? I don't think they ever would.
Does it matter?
No.
It doesn't matter, and it's over. It's finished.
Because we've had that in the past,
Yeah.
haven't we? I remember Lee Clark and Gary Rowett, referees ring them saying, sorry, got that wrong.
Yeah.
Don't even bother telling
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. It's even worse then. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But and the one like you said, Warnock's been hammered. Like I said, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not a fan of Warnock in general, really. His conduct over the years has been pretty poor in certain occasions, but his comments about Mike Riley, the referee supremo, you said it. They know all the rules off by heart, and they will implement them, but they don't know the flow of the game, if you like.
Understand the game.
How the game works, how you react to going down and things like that. But maybe that's the way we want to go. Maybe that is the way the referees want to go, where actually they are going to be robots. They're not going to come out and talk to anybody.
Well,
they're going to implement the letter of the law to the letter of the law, and that's the way we're going to be.
As Pete Taylor says here, Hawkeye in cricket and tennis is essential now.
Yeah,
They never
absolutely.
complain about taking decisions away from the umpire or the referee.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
But the cricket one, the Hawkeye with cricket, the whole basis behind it is to give the umpire still as much control as they possibly can. So you have the umpire's call bracket because they want to back the umpire still. So if the umpire's made a decision, unless it's an absolute howler, they're going to stick with the umpire's decision.
Limited to each team skipper having 3 calls, maybe.
At the moment, the point you have that, the fourth one which is wrong, they're going to kick off again.
Yeah.
That's the trouble with that.
Yeah.
You can't have it. Then you have to make it absolutely clear that it's going to be for game influencing decisions, not anything else.
Yeah.
Alan Minute says they might know the rules, but the rules are there. The problem is interpretation.
It's not interpretation. It's whether you're happy with the rule. I saw a comment. I think it was Paul Hipkiss who went on. I don't want to dwell too much on this incident in particular, but the Man United penalty against PSG. So he said that was the worst use of VAR there's been in recent history. Well, actually, the letter by the letter of the law, the PSG defender used his arm to increase the size of his body, and it hit his arm inside the penalty area. Therefore, that is a penalty. By the letter of the law, that is a penalty. Now, if you don't like the letter of the law, if you don't like the ruling, then that's a different matter altogether.
I thought the letter of the law was you had to direct the ball.
No, if you've moved your arm, if your arm is increasing the size of the size of your body, making yourself bigger.
So that's what I'm saying. So if it hits you, it's going to take a different direction.
Yeah,
you have to redirect the ball.
Well, I mean, the ball was good. He shouldn't have handballed it because the ball was going miles over anyway. But by the letter of the law, that is a penalty.
Do you remember when they tried to help referees? They said, right, what we're going to do is take out that phrase, if in the referee's opinion. That was before every rule. If in the referee's opinion, they took that out. And now we say, well, the referee's got to go and look at VAR and decide if he thinks it's wrong. It's the same thing. It's always his interpretation and opinion.
It has to be. It has to, unless you're going to have a robot. An actual robot who says, this is the letter of the law, therefore that is a penalty. Then you still have to treat the referee's word as
how much is the assessor plays in this? Because remember, these referees are earning a lot of money now.
Yeah.
They can't afford to be relegated, so they'll be thinking: do they referee for the benefit of the game?
Yeah.
Or the benefit of the assessor?
Yeah, definitely.
But see where I'm coming from?
Refereeing for the benefit of the laws of the game.
Yeah. So rather than the fans and the game and the players, I'll do it for them. Because then, if they do it and all the players went, great today, ref, and all the fans went, what a good referee, he could get marked down still. So I just wonder whether or not we get rid of the assessor.
Never had assessors in Clive Thomas's times, did we?
But we didn't have TV all the time then, did we?
No, and we had one camera.
Exactly.
And now every single thing is highlighted. We saw that yesterday with the Celtic game when the Rangers player used his elbow.
Yeah.
Nobody would have seen that.
Yeah, no.
TV picked it up straight away. So I think there's a lot of things changed about the game.
Yeah, and of course with Hugh Johns back in our day, we only had one camera on the halfway line as well.
Star Soccer, Sunday lunch, never beat it. Brilliant.
With the Corona pop. Interjection.
Nick, just let you know, we are broadcasting on YouTube, and Pete Taylor wants to know where we're reading the chat from. I have just explained that we're reading it from Facebook, but eventually we will read them from YouTube and Twitter.
From multi-platform.
Yeah.
Multi-platform.
This is the first time we've done this tonight, so I'm glad it's worked so far.
It's a bit of an experiment for next season, but
I was expecting it to crash after 4.6 minutes.
There
you go.
But there is a lot of work for Blues to do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's huge.
A lot of work.
But there's so many positives to take from Friday. The penalty decision aside, I thought there were so many positives to take. You've gone to West Brom, who are, like I said, a fourth in the table, score goals for fun, and actually, the reason you've lost that game is because of individual mistakes. They haven't battered us. They haven't. They hammered the door down at us.
Part of me is going with you 100%. The other half's gone, I don't care. We're at a stage now. If we keep doing that, we get relegated.
Yeah.
We have to win a game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
If you cut those defensive errors out,
the last 8 games are 4 against teams going 3 for automatic promotion and 1 for playoffs. Derby.
And
We've got 4
down,
relegation teams. Personally, I think Ipswich are gone.
Yes,
they're done. They're done. Bolton winning, didn't they, the weekend?
Yeah.
Didn't help anything.
Then they're going on
The Bolton
strike.
players
So
didn't turn up today, did they?
they're going on strike.
Didn't they?
No,
well,
because they've not been paid.
so
for the last
maybe
2
there's only
months.
one place.
Yeah, I think there
And
is.
they got battered 6 the weekend. didn't
Rotherham
they?
did,
Rotherham.
yeah.
So,
Our goal difference is an extra point. You can almost say we're 6 points clear of the drop.
you know,
But there's still points to be picked up.
or needed.
Yeah,
Needed.
and that, you know, BT said last week they know that.
The other
group know that.
worry I have, and it is a worry, is that everybody's gone, 9 points, line drawn under it, we move on.
Yeah.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
Because the accounts have to be right this year, or we're in the same position at the end of this season.
I wasn't under that impression.
No, definitely. There's no line drawn under it yet. You still have to, with every single situation, you have to be within your 13 million. 13 million a year is the most you can make of losses. If Blues make more than that, they might find themselves in a transfer embargo again.
Say if they've lost 3, the seasons we've been punished for don't come into account.
No.
Though.
You can't you can't double jeopardy.
No,
you can't
exactly. Yeah.
So
But as long as we're under 13 million,
under 13.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the half yearly results, but
No.
I read somewhere that they were quite poor.
Okay.
So there's still, all I'm trying to not paint a black picture, but just to say, listen, there's still work to do.
Yeah.
Mind you, get out of jail card just might be selling Che Adams. I don't want him to.
Yeah.
But that
They will in the summer.
I think that might happen.
It's inevitable. I think. Yeah.
Good shout here from Martin Swinscoe. I'm a referee, been doing it for 25 years. Everybody slags us off, but they wouldn't dare to take the ref's course and pick up the whistle and have a go.
Interesting, because they all do that, referees, and I mean, I'm sure he might be a very good referee, but they all got 25 years experience.
Yeah.
Now that might be 25 years experience, or it might be 25 times 1 year's experience. Does that make sense?
No.
Do you know what I mean? You can have 25 years where you're learning, have all that experience, or you can think you've arrived and have 1 year's experience and have that same 1 year.
I think from the way he's written it, he's been doing it for 25 years.
No, but
From the way he's written
it's still,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
doesn't mean he's got 25 years experience.
He might have been rubbish for 18.
But the thing is, that is typical. That is typical of referees. Typical of referees. Yeah, you wouldn't take up the whistle.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. I wouldn't go on stage and try and sing. Rod Stewart does it, but I still criticise what he does if I don't like what he does.
Yeah, you get paid, and the professionals get paid handsomely.
They are not immune to criticism. Yeah. Sadly, it's like the secret society. They're not answerable. Yeah. They don't come out and speak.
That's Mike Riley.
They always used to back in the day on Star Soccer, didn't they? Always used to have a referee interview.
But I don't remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since Mike Riley has become the head of the referees, though, him as a referee, when he was a referee, he was very headmaster like. I'm in charge, and I'm not going to say anything after the game. This, that, and the other. And since he's come in, he has implemented that. Don't talk about the game after the game. You'll be assessed. You'll do your talking with the group and everything like that, and that's.
You only know if they're punished by them being dropped.
Yeah, exactly. If a Premier League referee turns up in the Championship next week, he's had a bit of a rollicking. So.
On another note, Jay Raisey wants to know if you use FastPay.
What's FastPay?
FastPay
at Blows.
Oh no! Sadly, I don't. But I've heard people moan their heads off about that.
Well, not this.
I love it.
He loves it.
Yeah,
he loves it.
What is it? Is that
contactless payment using your season ticket?
For contactless payment.
Yeah. Top up your season ticket and it's contactless payment.
Oh, excellent! Listen, anything that makes the experience, the match day experience, good can only be good, can't it?
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like he's happy with it, by the way.
No, you're right. It has been a contentious issue.
Marmite,
I think at the start of the season there were teething problems. They've definitely improved it. Yeah.
Kevin Kelly, the NFL has mastered the technology and the techniques to manage a game with one of the most complex rule sets. We could learn from this example, maybe see this at Spurs next year. Thing is if you do it at Spurs, you've got to do it everywhere, haven't you?
No, but also, hang on. I quite like NFL, but it's 10 seconds.
You're talking about a sport that stops every second.
Yeah.
There's no fast pace about it.
I don't like NFL.
No. Ice hockey, different class, but just not. To compare the two is just... Listen... I know lots of people who love it, Bob.
Yeah, I don't mind. I watch NFL, but you don't need to try and develop a new system.
Do you know what?
You've got the system in VAR. Get used to it and
improve
it. Use it better, and you've got it.
The Americans are great. Like I was in New York last year. It was last year, the year before. I went to see the Yankees play, the Orioles.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got to tell you, I haven't still no idea what the score was. I don't care, right? But what they do brilliantly is make it an experience.
Yeah, it's an event.
They've entertainment. They have all the screens and all the things, and all the shouts and all the singing. Then an ex-veteran soldier comes on, he gets around. Everything was absolutely spot on, and I got ID'd, which made me happy.
What, for age?
Yeah. Well, you're
for beer.
For beer. I went for Diet Coke.
Oh, okay.
I went into the concourse and I said, she went, have you got your ID? And I said, I was going to say, are you taking the? And she went, no. She said it. I was very happy at that stage, but she went, no, I have to ask everybody. I went, oh, fair enough. So they showed her. But no matter who you are, whatever age you are, they show you. But there's the thing, though. Every kid coming into that ground that day got a proper baseball bat, right, signed by the team, and took it into the ground. There was no aggravation. Can you imagine giving that
some baseball bats?
Yeah, but can you imagine giving everybody a baseball bat? It
wouldn't work.
But there are things we do need to improve on, and one is this tribal attitude. Sometimes I think there's no place for it. Listen, getting behind your team and making it hostile. I love all that.
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of that. Yeah.
Sir Alex said when I was in Steve Bruce's room, this is one of the most hostile places we come to, he said, and his words were, I've been to Galatasaray.
He wrote that in his book, I think, didn't he?
He said that in Steve Bruce's room. Steve Bruce, I was in there. And so I know that exactly what he feels. I love that hostility. There are bounds you don't step over.
Yeah, cool.
We've been corrected, by the way. Martin Swinsko says, Tom, they're called observers now, not assessors. They went out the game 2 years ago.
Oh. So they're observers. Is it the same person doing the same job?
Probably.
Yeah. There you go.
Rebranding.
And, well, it's like linesmen. I still call them lino. And all the players do, you know. The players say the lino did this or that. Nobody goes to the assistant referee. And you know what? I saw recently. They're all in the middle of the pitch high-fiving each other. I nearly fell about. What's the game coming to?
Game's gone.
The game's gone, to quote a phrase.
Whoever says that when you first came here.
But it is. Watching them high-five, oh my days.
Stephen van der Vorm, were the rumours true that we were set to appeal the points decision had we won on Friday night?
I hope not.
I don't think
I hope
not.
I'd have been absolutely stunned.
No, because you don't want it dragging into next year.
No.
And you don't want, aggravate it and get another 3 points.
And Steve Gill, great to see the Duke get his goal. It absolutely was. You're dead right, my friend.
He was.
Right.
I think there was one.
Jukovic.
Yeah, there was one point in the first half when the Albion have broke, and the ball's come to the whole gate, the right back, and he's gone to cross it, and it's Jukovic cutting out the cross. He's ran 60 yards, full
I love him to
back.
death, me.
You cannot throw any accusations at that bloke that he don't work hard enough. His work rate is
Tell you
unbelievable.
what he does, and I'm not being rude to him, and I like him immensely. He's a great lad. He's limited ability, but he makes the most of it. He uses his strengths for the benefit of the team, and I love that.
And we play to his strengths, the way we have done at the start of the season when he was getting his goals, and then the second half of the season
Che
when
Adams
he's
has got a
creating
lot
goals.
to be grateful to him.
Yeah, definitely.
That's for sure.
Che up front on his own probably wouldn't have got anywhere near the goals he has this season.
No.
But it was brilliant to see him get his goal. It was thoroughly deserved. Unfortunately, it didn't account for any points. But
Well, Jez says we're on a financial fair play business plan for the next 3 years. If that's the case, then we're hardly likely to step over the mark, are we?
For 3 years.
We'd be foolish to. But throughout the whole process, all you ever heard was we're in constant contact
Dialogue
with
with
constant dialogue with the EFL to make sure we're following the rules.
Is that absolutely definite for 3 years?
I don't know. That's what
I'm checking that out.
Yeah.
I
would have because the rule is 39/3, isn't it?
And we've had the three.
Yeah.
And the business plan was to get us in line to the end of the season.
Yes. So if we've lost less than 13 this year, I think we are
back on track.
We are good to do what we want, not what we want, but we can be competitive in the summer, and that's the main thing.
Well, I'm not so sure how true that is because we're running at max now, and I don't know how much they'll be allowed to spend. The owners, I'm told, want to spend. They want to spend.
Yeah,
but because
they've shown they want to spend. That's why we're in this mess.
It's all about revenues. And I suggested a week ago or 2 weeks ago in the Birmingham Mail, I said, look, why not then, if you've got rich owners, because the needs of Birmingham are different to the needs of Rotherham.
Yeah.
The needs of Leeds are different to the needs of Accrington, Stanley. But all those have got a vote. They're all loving FFP because the chairman don't have to spend. But we've got rich owners. Villa have got rich owners. Albion got owners who all want to spend. Now, if they have, then I say, right, say to the owners, you've got to put an irrevocable bond with the EFL to prove that you will be able to meet all your obligations. If they do that, then let them go ahead and spend and bring in some decent players.
This Tom's point is why I'm convinced sooner rather than later we're going to find ourselves with the Premier League too, rather than an EFL, because Leeds being in the Championship is completely incomprehensible to Leeds United. You know,
Sheffield Wednesday,
Derby County, Nottingham Forest.
You know what? We haven't got a Premier League 2 because it's been muted because Premier League don't want it.
Yeah, well,
because they'll have to spread a bit more of the money, brand, and they don't want to do it.
Of course, that's their brand diminished. Yeah.
On another subject, completely and entirely, but it comes up most weeks. Tom, most weeks. Kevin French wants to know: would Tom knock the main stand down?
Well, it's ever so weird this because when they did the stadium,
that's your base.
I'd like to have done it,
days,
but I love St Andrews as it was.
Yeah,
I love that old main stand. I've been there. I've worked there for 40 years, sitting there. But you know, you have to move on in life, and I wish they'd have finished it off.
Yes,
because it would have been special then.
Yeah,
you know, and they got plans which still available. The plans they had planning permission to develop the railway end into another tier at the top, building over the railway.
Yeah,
I'll get dizzy when I get up there as it is.
They had that, but they had the planning permission. Karen Brady and they got the planning permission. That was so they had everything done, just didn't go ahead with it.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see it finished. If I'm honest, if I'm truthful, you know,
I'd rather sit in
our old stand than sit in the London Stadium.
Yeah,
and be about 2 miles from the centre circle.
Yeah.
I went past it the other Friday and I thought, no, it's not your home. At least with Spurs, they've kept the site.
It looks just
amazing,
incredible. It looks like a proper footballing amphitheatre.
It's just taking football to the next level.
What's he on about? When football need an amphitheatre? What's he on about?
No, but it is.
God's sake, man,
kill him!
No, you go. You know, you're a Spurs fan. You go to that ground every week. That's your home. Just look at it.
It's still going to be called White Hart Lane.
I have to be honest.
Rightly so as well, because that's what the fans will call it. The fans will be saying we're off down the lane, whether it's called the Dubai Airlines lane or whatever for sponsorship benefits, you know, whatever. But the fans will still call. We don't. I don't know anybody fan who says we're off down the Trillion Trophy.
No, St Andrews.
Do you know what I mean?
You know, they speak of little else in Small Heath than amphitheatres.
I want an amphitheatre.
I'm telling you, dear oh dear.
Some questions coming in for you, Tom. Tom, what was your favourite game you've commentated on?
Always been a few of them. For Blues.
Let's go for Blues first, yeah.
I have to say, I love the playoff final.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Brentford semi-final for the Leyland Daff.
Home or away?
The away one.
Yeah, I went to that
when
one.
Studge scored.
Studge.
I absolutely love that one.
£92 I paid for my ticket.
I did all that. I love the, as I said, the Worthington Cup final, which was amazing to do. But I think for me, winning and the semi-final against West Ham,
that was amazing.
When we were so far behind, and then we shut up
East London.
we shut up the Cockneys. I loved it, and then and so taking it into the final. That was a day I'll never forget. And to this day, I kept when Omar Febby Martins put it in, I'm looking around thinking, go on then, ref, blow the whistle, there's something wrong.
Something's going to blow.
And he didn't. It was like, wow. You know, and to all that Arsene Wenger, our injured player, says Fabregas will pick up the cup, on your bike. Loved it. But the semi-final, West Ham on a night game, the floodlights, Bowyer scoring, Garner scoring,
Johnson.
Just
what a trio
amazing.
of games though. Taking them out up the road, and then coming back from.
Do you know what the away leg against West Ham? We were unlucky to lose that. I think it was Foster. It was a Foster mistake right at the end. I think.
Carlton Cole wobble, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that was the home leg, wasn't it?
We were odds on to lose that. You know.
Wasn't that in the first leg?
odds on to lose that.
Yeah.
Because we were 3-1 down at one stage, weren't we?
Yeah. When Cole scored at St Andrews, yeah.
Because at St Andrews, I got my 3 boys with me, and the final whistle went, and K. Sarah was ringing.
Amazing.
And I said to the lads, listen to this. Just
Amazing.
listen to this.
I mean,
Beautiful.
as I said, over the years, I mean, I'll tell you what was an emotional day to commentate on was the last day of the Cup. That was an emotional day.
I've got a piece of it at home.
Yeah, so have I. I've got a piece of rock. But I did the first hour of my programme from the Cup, which are, to this day, I've still got the pictures. It was an emotional day for me because I stood on the Tilton up for a long, long time. And I stood on the Cup with my dad when he first put me down the front. So yeah, it was emotional that. But I'd have to say, put on the spot, West Ham.
Yeah.
Semi-final was just blew me away. If I'm honest, a lot of the European games were
You
great.
can hear
by
the
the
sound
way.
of bubbles
Yeah,
popping all
it's
over.
iconic.
Loved it.
Iconic commentary.
I know. But by the way, I still don't say I call them cheating. Chirpy Cockneys. I don't think I said cheating. Chirpy Cockneys.
I'll have to listen to the YouTube.
Yeah. Somebody might have tampered with the tape.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing day, that, and to see all them Blues fans, and you know what I mean, and going to Wembley and catching up with them all on Wembley Way.
Miserable, drizzly, horrible
Yeah,
day. I was
but
sat in the
we had a
middle.
big thing, free radio on Wembley Way, BRMB on Wembley Way, and they all, people coming up, and we were giving them badges and having. It was just fantastic.
I've got one.
I went into the cafe at the bottom, went to the cafe with all the fans were there. I had some toast or sausage sandwich, can't remember. Just wonderful experience, because I do miss going to the game with my mates. I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss going to the game with my mates. And I went to Bristol City away this year, not working. I just went. I went to, and it was absolutely brilliant. And it was just fantastic. Sat next to Gary's wife, and we had an absolutely wonderful time. Who, by the way, used to be a radio journalist. At Swansea Sound, and so it was great. We were talking about radio and stuff, but it was just great just to go cheer the lads on and watch them win.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
Always the best way to end it. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that was my game. The best game I ever saw, in terms of atmosphere, was as a young man, 1963, Blues 3, Spurs 3. We came from behind to get to 3-3 in the Cup. And that was the great double winning team as well for Spurs. Jimmy Greaves.
Bill Nicholson side.
Yeah, Jimmy Greaves, etc. And we went, the replay we got beat again. But Ken Leake scored a 4th goal, which would have won the tie for Blues at home. But it was wrongly ruled offside. And I know it was offside without VAR. I know it was offside to this day. Didn't make any difference though.
Quite a few people are saying the Ipswich semi-finals.
Ipswich, Granger at the far post.
Oh.
What a game that was as well.
I thought
by
that
the
was
way.
a golden goal. I was going mental. I was over 3 or 4 seats.
What about
the bobble, the Johnson bobble? That'll be
in strange games though. You have strange games, don't you? Because Tranmere away, when we got relegated, was it Tranmere away? I mean, we'd won 10 out of 13 or something under Barry Fry, and West Brom had gone to Portsmouth, and because West Brom won thanks to a late Bob Taylor goal, we get relegated, and the manager's being chaired off.
Yeah.
And we've just been relegated. I found it all rather crazy to try and understand. Huddersfield, when we got the double.
Yeah, promoted.
And Tate scored, and just amazing scenes.
Yeah.
I've had listen, it's been some great times, mate. Just seeing your team win is always wonderful.
Yes.
But special days like Cup semi-finals and that is
you'll
amazing.
never forget.
Yeah, never forget.
Yeah.
And to this day, Wojciech's still my favourite Arsenal player of all time.
Who, sorry?
Wojciech.
Right.
The goalie.
Yeah.
He's the one that collided with
Koscielny.
Koscielny. It was brilliant. That'll stand him on as well. Barry Ferguson running past and clipping Koscielny round the head and just say, thanks a lot, pal. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Interjection.
We're going to do the draw now.
No problem at all. Competition time, ladies and gents. And don't forget to be in next week's competition. All you've got to do is share this on your personal Facebook stream.
We're doing a pick. What we winning?
We are winning a bag of goodies. Keep right on goodies.
Clothing,
hats,
caps.
Bronx hat.
Bronx.
Yeah. We've had that a couple of times already tonight.
How do they get in?
They have to share the
Ah.
Facebook stream on their own page.
Oh, right. And that puts
them in the
draw.
next draw, yeah.
Qualifies you for the draw.
Don't even have to ask a question.
Brilliant. Right. It is. I have to do. It's Mr. T. Ross No, it's Wendy Jane Barnett.
Wendy Jane Barnett. There you go.
Shared a live video.
Congratulations to you.
Wendy Jane Barnett. Congratulations, Wendy.
There you go.
And,
Pulled out by Tom Ross.
well
Could you
done,
sign that,
Mr.
Tom,
T.
and we'll
Ross.
send that off to her as
I'm
well?
not being funny. Could you make the writing any smaller?
There you go, mate. Oh, the Sharpie. Do it with the Sharpie, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. But it's you know, the games.
Gone.
The games have been brilliant. You know what I mean? Now, when you watch your team, and you wait all that time, you go through all the bad times, the relegations. Then when you go again like West Ham, and then you get the final.
Was you at the Notts County one?
Yes, I was.
Was you on the pitch?
Yeah. I was on the pitch at Villa.
I don't advocate it now.
Breaks rules,
in,
that is.
in
That's breaking rules.
1963, we beat Villa 3-1 at St Andrews in the League Cup final.
Yeah.
And I think it was I think I had to bunk off school early to get there because I'm not sure why, but I did. And the second leg, I was on the Holt end, 0-0, and Trevor picked up the League Cup. Trevor Smith,
Yeah.
Bertie Auld play, and I remember to this day running onto the pitch. It was wrong of me, and if the law wanted to arrest me, fine. But I broke the law that day.
I did it, and I actually had an England's Glory box full of turf, and I kept it
From Villa Park.
No, from the Blues, when on the Notts County.
Oh,
game.
the Notts County.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Notts
yeah.
County game.
Do
Yeah.
you remember the Charlton game? Terry Cooper.
Terry
Paul
Cooper,
Molden
yeah.
scored. Kept us up
Paul
again.
Molden, there's a blast from the past, isn't it?
Hey, funny enough, the other day I was speaking to Andy Saville.
Yeah.
Andy, remember Andy Saville? He's now doing corporate hospitality at Hull, and I was talking to Andy. I was talking to Scott Hiley. They all remember the club with affection, you know. This club gets in.
Yeah,
this
it's
club
crazy
gets
how
under
many
your skin.
people do, yeah.
It gets under your skin, this club. Now, even if you move away, it gets under your
Yeah.
skin. And I think that's... Whether the modern players will, I don't know. Somebody like Paul Robinson, it will. But will the modern... I'm not so sure. Maybe they don't stay around too long. But
yeah,
most
that's the
players,
difference, yeah.
from the past... I mean,
But even the likes of, you know, not going too far back, like Oliver Tebley, like, you know,
Yeah. I mean, he's
you know,
still
not
so
even
now, isn't he?
not even English players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
John.
he did an interview at his vineyard, and he was wearing his Blues jumper from
at
back
his
in the
vineyard, the
day.
game's gone.
Do you know what I mean? But it's
Well, it's us to buying some grapes.
I know. I'm
it
working
definitely
desperately
does.
hard to get Mikel Forcell over.
yeah.
For the former Players Association. I'm
Yeah.
working hard to get him over, which would be great.
Where does he live now?
You can bring him on if he
He's
does.
back home in Finland.
In Finland.
He was a great,
He was
great
a
player.
stunning
brilliant.
finisher.
Great
stunning
finisher.
finisher.
You know, when all you'd like had gone home at the game ground, and I have to sit there because I was doing a phone
Yeah,
until
yeah.
7 then, there's probably only me in the press box.
Yeah.
He used to come out with the ball after a game
Yeah.
and practice in the box, finishing. After a game. The kid...
But that's why you get
That's
people
why he was
scoring
top
20
level.
goals.
That's
yeah.
why he was top level. And Gary McSheffrey got a lot of goals for us. You know, Gary McSheffrey.
Yeah.
We're having a soon. I think I can't remember the date, but there'll be a strikers' night. We're getting a lot of strikers.
Oh, that'd
over.
be good. Yeah.
Just strikers. You know,
Yeah, Christoph.
Yeah, well, Christoph was a midfielder anyway, but he wouldn't come. Although he played up front,
Yeah,
technically, I
yeah.
suppose. He's your original false number
You
9.
just
he was.
let him do wherever you want.
But he wouldn't come now. But
Yeah.
he was great to watch.
Yeah.
Christophe de Gary, not a legend at the club, wasn't there long enough
Yeah.
for me, even though he was voted into the Hall of Fame. But watching him when
Just
I did,
the impact.
because I was fortunate, I
Yeah.
covered for Capital. I covered all the World Cup in '98,
Okay,
so I saw
yeah,
him
yeah,
play
yeah.
in '98. So for him to wear a blue shirt,
It's crazy,
and I'll never
yeah.
forget Colin Todd's son, Andy Todd, kicking him up the backside of Blackburn,
Yeah.
just out of frustration because he couldn't get near.
Yeah.
Richard White has come up with another Watford at home. What an atmosphere! Ground full at 7.
When that, what was his name? Bumbongo? What was his name? What's his name? He cheated us that
Yeah.
day as well. And what an atmosphere that was for the playoffs. Oh, and then you go the other way. What a dreadful atmosphere at the Barnsley playoff.
Was you at the
4-0
4-0 down after the first one, yeah.
Oh, I had to go for the second leg.
Yeah.
Because
right,
we're blues, right? Was you at the Kidderminster Harriers one?
Yes, I did commentary on that. I didn't do commentary on the Altrincham game, but I did it on the Kidderminster game. And one of my
I think that's one of my low points.
One of my good mates was the manager of Kidderminster Harriers,
Really?
Graham Allner. I used to play football against Graham, and I didn't want to talk to him.
No.
I didn't want to talk to him.
Number
But
blocks for a couple of weeks.
And I was then BR&B. I had to cover Kidderminster's cup run, and like fair play to them. Listen, Blues just didn't perform. It's as simple as that. We just didn't perform.
Mike Smith, Tom, I grew up listening to your voice on the radio today. I still remember listening to you commentate on the Villa game, the Carling Cup quarter-final, biting my nails under my duvet, and the West Ham game. Bubbles are popping all over the Midlands. I think it was all over the East End of London. East End of London, wasn't it? Yeah. Loved being a season ticket holder, but kind of missed listening.
Yeah, you know, we had this conversation the other day with people, and it was because a lot of Phoenix and Global, who own Capital in London and Heart, a lot of presenters have had the boot, and they're going to network.
Just going down the one route, aren't they?
Networking shows.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Then they put local stings in and local ads, and they think they can con people into thinking it's local. It ain't local. I've got to be honest. When Bauer took over Free Radio, they were brilliant for me. Bauer, I've got no complaints about them. They just didn't want to do live football. They might have wanted to do live football, but it's too expensive to do live football. I mean, people forget, you know, I got it virtually dirt cheap in the last few years, but when Richard Park took over, Capital Radio took over BRMB, we were paying Blues and Villa lots of money on Albion.
Yeah.
I mean, serious though, I'm talking about like nearly probably 300,000 quid. You know, so people say to me, you don't pay for your ticket. Over the years, we've paid a lot of money for tickets. But my point is now, it's all about bottom line, and it's far cheaper to play a tune from a show that's networked out of Manchester or London than it is to pay for producers, reporters, IRN
DJs,
fees, licence fees to cover it, then pay the clubs, all that sort of stuff. It's far cheaper. So nobody's doing football in independent radio. The BBC are doing it, but they don't have a worry. It's not their money.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah. Pete Taylor, commentary on the TV when Dugarry scored. They can't stop him, but then who? That still gives me goosebumps.
I think. I mean, it was clear from the moment he walked in. His first game. It was clear he was a step above everybody else.
Class above.
It was just that. I think it was 6 or 7 game streak where everything clicked and he just blew everyone away. And
Steve Bruce was telling me only recently. He was telling me because I was with Colin Tatham when Christoph come in to the room where we did the interview. It was only me and Tats there, and he's gone in that French Gallic way, shrugged his shoulders. It's not football. This is crazy. You know, he couldn't get to what it was all about, the pace and the tempo.
Yeah.
But then Steve told me recently. He said, I'll never forget it. He said after he hooked him on one game, didn't he? Was it Villa? Was it Villa game he hooked him? I can't remember.
That was in his second season.
Just signed the contract.
Yeah.
Well,
and he came in on the Monday.
We've got some Villa fans joining us tonight.
Christophe Dugarry came in on the Monday.
Won't be long. Andy Pandu will be on soon.
Christophe Dugarry came on and said he walked in and he went, Steve, took the contract out of his pocket and ripped it up.
Really?
I said, I can't do this, and walked away. That was it. That was as simple as it was. He couldn't deal with the freneticness and the physicality of it all.
Yeah.
Great to have seen him though in a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Dolly Duster, thanks for your lovely comments. Tom Ross was and still is the voice of Birmingham City.
Why shouldn't Villa fans ring you up?
No, it's just they come on with swear words and all sorts of
Oh,
stuff.
do they?
Yeah, they're not very clever. Tom Ross was and still is the voice of Birmingham City, and the Tilton Talk Show is the heart of all Blue Noses. Keep right on. Thank you very much for you, Dolly. They go away usually when Andy Pandy comes on CCTV or whatever.
I mean, I've had a decent relationship with most Villa fans because when you call a game,
do you know what? I wouldn't mind any of them coming on, right?
If they're
absolutely.
But you have to, you know, I've had to cover West Brom, Wolves, Blues, Coventry, and Blues are my team. I've never hidden it, never had to. But when I've covered Villa games, I've called it properly and fairly. And I've told them one of the great games in my career was seeing them beat Tranmere in the second leg of the League Cup semi-final when they got to beat 94, and they got to play Manchester United in the final. That was an amazing thing. Inter Milan, when they played Inter Milan and won by a penalty in the last minute. King scored the penalty. So, you know, I'm not one because I don't. There's not much hate in my life if I'm honest with you. I hate paedophiles. I hate ISIS. But I don't. I always say, well, if I hate him as a footballer or I hate him as a football team, them, where do I go with ISIS and paedophiles if I've got hate? I've got nowhere to go.
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also you've got no job, have you? If you start saying you hate.
But it's. I don't. It's a question. People come up to me and outside the ground they go, "You must hate Villa." So I don't hate Villa. Birmingham are my team. I'm more
Yeah.
concerned about promoting and cheering my
Yeah,
team on than I am
definitely,
about wasting time and energy popping at other teams.
Yeah.
You know, I was fortunate enough to play for a lot of years. I played for the Albion All Stars with Bomber Brown, Bobby Hope, John Wilde, Brendan Batson, and I loved it. Now I'll run the Blues one, and I've had a great time doing that. But that doesn't mean, as I said, that doesn't mean you have to be aggressive. Not for me anyway. Maybe people will say it's wrong, but that's the way I am.
I get your point, and like I say, I could talk to any of them on here.
Sensibly.
Not a problem.
My proudest moment was watching my grandson this year lead the team out against Swansea.
Superb.
He's a season ticket holder. He's only 8, and he's fanatic about Blues. My daughter is fanatic Amy about Blues as well. I love it. That's what it's about. That's exact. You see, my other my granddaughter Amelia Johns, she's Derby fanatic. The Rams, because Curtis Davis is my son's brother-in-law.
Okay.
So they go to within. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What this is
That's
football.
how 99% of us choose our teams, don't they?
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it. My dad.
Yeah.
He taught me to sing "Keep Right On" when I was a toddler. That was the first thing I ever learned to sing.
My son could sing it before he could say "Mom."
Yeah, well, he taught me to sing it. What my old man, bless him and rest in peace, he never told me how tired and weary I'd get, or how long the bloody road was. But I'll never forget that. And recently, I buried my brother Danny, who was very popular at Blues.
Yeah, very sad.
He went everywhere with Blues, home and away. Went to England fanatic, went everywhere, South Africa, World Cups, went everywhere with them. And he was absolutely Blues crackers, and I mean crackers, about everything to do with Blues. But you know, all his mates were Blues as well, but he worked with people who were Villa fans. He didn't hate anybody, you know. And when I buried him, you realise, buried in a Blues coffin as well, by the way.
Nice one.
Yeah, and in his Blues kit.
Superb.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Villa fan up in my hometown.
Where's your hometown?
Uttoxeter.
You're not even a Brummie.
I used to live in Erdington. Well, I stayed there for a week.
Territory?
I stayed there for a week. My other half's son was killed in Afghanistan in the war. Yeah. And this Villa fan and I stand shoulder to shoulder at the War Memorial every single 11th of the 11th.
At the Arboretum?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
No, in town.
Oh, in town. Yeah.
And we shake hands before, we shake hands after, and then it's back to the banter.
Well, listen, I love banter. And I let me tell you, with people like you, I'm going to tell you now, I got a press conferences at Aston Villa on a Thursday, right? Thursday. I'll be there this Thursday. Dean Smith walks in and he goes, "The nose is here." The nose, that's what he calls me, the nose. I love the banter. I mean, up until a couple of weeks ago, I was going mind the gap. I'm going to keep quiet now, to be perfectly honest. But we have that banter, and I love that banter. I love the banter. I ain't going to fight anybody over football. I'm really not. And I always say to people,